This story fascinates me. Why now? What sparked this? Was it the Valiant story recently, or what was the straw that broke the camel's back here for you?
Well, it really is all about our patients all the time. And what we're hearing from them is at times they can't get a hold of drugs, or the drugs they get a hold of are way too expensive. And we're experiencing that in the hospital as well. And we've been thinking about this for a couple of years now. And we've worked really hard to come up with a coherent plan and some good partners. And now's the time to get to work.
What do you mean you're going to make your own?
So we will work as a team, and we'll identify different ways of manufacturing drugs. It's possible we'll make our own drugs. It's quite likely we'll use contract manufacturers as well.
So how is that any different from buying generic drugs today? Are you basically not able to choose different suppliers or drug manufacturers? You need to go out there and partner with somebody to get more supply into the market?
So one of the big problems today is individuals and groups have actually gone ahead and gotten sole control over a given drug. They create shortages and then they drive the prices up, and our patients can't get a hold of the drugs they need. So we as a team will go ahead and do the opposite. We will actually make sure that drugs are available in good quantities and at reasonable prices.
Who's financing this, and how much money are we talking about here?
So the organizations involved will all go ahead and we will make a, quote, donation, although it really isn't a donation. Over time, the business plan says we'll get our money back, and we'll capitalize the organization that way. And we certainly are hoping that we may get the attention of impact philanthropists who are sick of this activity as well, and will help support us as we get started.
I was just looking to see if shares of Valiant have sold off today. They're down about 2.5%. Of course, as you know, make some high-profile heart drugs at the middle of all this, and they raised prices a couple of years ago. How long before you think you could bring a generic version of drugs like that to market?
So we're not talking about which drugs exactly we're going to bring to market. There are about 20 on our list, and we're going to hold those close to our vest. We think it'll be early 19 before our first drugs come to market.
Now, does this mean you're no longer going to buy drugs from the drug makers if you're going to start making them? I mean, how is this? Have you heard from the drug manufacturers themselves? What's been the response?
So we expect that the vast majority of drugs that we buy will come in the same channels we've always gotten them. We think most of pharma is doing a great job, and we think most of generic drug manufacturers are doing a great job. We are only interested in those organizations that are creating shortages and driving drug prices up in an irrational fashion. So the majority of our business will stay exactly the same.
Doctor, what about those who say there's plenty of incentive in the pharma marketplace for other generic makers to come in and do what you're going to be doing? Why not focus and use your own capital on lowering the cost of care at hospitals? You know, costly MRIs, being overcharged for supplies, the kinds of complaints we've heard now for years.
So it's not an either or, this is an and. I think we recognize that healthcare is just too expensive. We're doing everything we can to change our operating model, and more importantly, to drive costs to consumers down. But we also think a big component of pain that people feel is their drug cost. And this is another way that we're going to get at that.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.